Hello, welcome to my channel. If you are over 50 and struggling with your growing belly, then today's story might be just what you are looking for. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, gently pulled up your shirt, and stared at your lower abdomen? The once flat belly of your 20s now standing out like a silent, painful reminder. It's not just the fat, it's the disappointment. It's the promise you'll make to yourself to start dieting tomorrow. It's the averted gaze you make when you step on the scale. And worst of all, the deep sigh you make when you button your pants, as if apologizing to your body for letting things get this far. If you're over 50, you know this all too well. It's not just the appearance, it's the blood pressure that starts to rise. It's the doctor telling you you're pre-diabetic. It's the heavy legs, the shallower sleep, the shortness of breath after a few flights of stairs. And most of all, the feeling that this body is slowly not yours anymore. But what if I told you that there is one type of carb, one that most of us have been ignoring, that could be the key to reversing all of that? Dr. Jason Fung, a renowned Canadian nephrologist and one of the pioneers of intermittent fasting and metabolic disorders, has spent more than a decade studying how the body stores and burns fat. What he found may make many people rethink every piece of weight loss advice they've ever heard. In dozens of lectures and books, Dr. Fung emphasizes a simple but often overlooked truth. Belly fat after 50 isn't just a result of overeating or lack of exercise. It's the result of a hormonal imbalance, specifically insulin, the hormone primarily responsible for fat storage. You see, when your body consumes too many refined carbohydrates like sugar, white bread, pasta, white rice, insulin has to work overtime to get the sugar out of your blood. And the more insulin you have, the more your body is locked into fat storage mode. Belly fat becomes the main storage area, especially as you get past middle age and your metabolism starts to slow down. But here's the interesting thing, not all carbohydrates are bad. In fact, there's a particular type of carb that, according to Dr. Fung and backed by multiple studies from Harvard and major health organizations, can help lower insulin, improve satiety, feed your gut bacteria, and even burn belly fat. That carb is fiber-specifically resistant starch. Unlike regular starch-resistant fiber, isn't digested in the small intestine. Instead, it goes straight to your large intestine, where it becomes a favorite food source for probiotics, tiny but powerful microorganisms that can regulate everything from your immune system to your fat metabolism. Dr. Fung explains that when you eat more resistant fiber, your body secretes less insulin. At the same time, the beneficial bacteria in your gut produce butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that can reduce inflammation, increase insulin sensitivity, and trigger your body's natural fat-burning process. And the best part, foods rich in resistant fiber aren't necessarily expensive or exotic. They include green bananas, uncooked oats, cold rice baked and then cooled potatoes, lentils, chickpeas, and chia seeds. These are things you can find in your supermarket or even already have in your kitchen. You just don't know how to activate their power. A great example is cold rice. When you cook rice and let it cool in the fridge for at least 12 hours, the molecular structure of the starch changes. Some of it turns into resistant fiber. When you reheat and eat it, the glycemic index will be much lower than when you eat hot rice. It's the same rice, but the body reacts completely differently. And that means you don't have to completely eliminate carbs from your diet. Just choose the right type and prepare it the right way. The story of Ms. Lyon, 64 years old, living in Da Nang, is a living testament to that. For years, she struggled with belly fat type 2 diabetes and feeling exhausted every morning when she woke up. But after reading an article about Dr. Fung, she started making small changes, eating cold rice, adding lentils to dinner, drinking raw oatmeal smoothies with chia seeds in the morning. In just 3 months, she lost more than 5 kilos of belly fat without extreme starvation. Blood sugar stabilized, sleep improved, and most importantly, she felt back. But what made this method work was not just the food, it was the shift in mindset from fighting the body to collaborating with it. Instead of forcing yourself to eat less and exercise more, the old formula that often leads to burnout, you start listening to your body, understanding hormones, insulin, the role of the gut, and the microbiome. And from there, building a new, gentler, more sustainable relationship with yourself. The sad thing is that we've lived for decades believing that to lose weight, you just need to cut calories and exercise more. But guess what? If it were that simple, why are millions of people, especially those over 50, stuck in a vicious cycle of obesity, diabetes, and exhaustion? The truth is, the human body is not a computer that calculates how much and how much out. It's a complex endocrine system where hormones, especially insulin, act as the master controller. And as you get older, that system becomes more susceptible to imbalance. Dr. Jason Fung often compares our bodies to a refrigerator full of food. Insulin is the key to the refrigerator. When insulin levels are always high from eating too much refined carbohydrates, the door never opens and the body never really burns the stored fat. You can skip a meal or two, you can work out like crazy, but if your insulin stays high, your fat drawer stays locked. And that's where resistant fiber comes in as a second key. It helps reduce the insulin spike. After a meal slows down the absorption of sugar, keeps you fuller for longer, reduces your cravings for snacks, and most importantly, gradually reopens the drawer that's been closed for years. In a study published in Nutrition Journal, scientists found that people who consumed about 30 grams of fiber a day, without changing anything else about their diet, lost weight, visceral fat, and blood pressure after 12 weeks. No crash diets, no diet pills, just fiber. But for it to really work, you need to make it part of your daily routine, not as a one-time miracle, but as a new way of life. Imagine your morning starts like this. You make a smoothie with overnight oats, some chopped green bananas, a few spoonfuls of chia seeds, coconut milk, and a dash of cinnamon. Not only is it delicious, it's a natural medication for your insulin. For lunch, you have reheated rice with soft lentils, steamed vegetables, and grilled salmon. For dinner, you have a soup made from cold sweet potatoes and chickpeas with a little turmeric and ginger. It's not a strict diet, it's a return to real foods, things your body knows and can use. When you start to feel the changes, less cravings for sweets, more restful sleep, less feeling bloated after meals, your body is healing. It's no longer struggling to resist something foreign. Instead, it's working the way it was designed to. And you'll be surprised by one thing: losing belly fat is no longer a difficult goal, but a natural consequence of internal balance. Dr. Fung also emphasizes that, in addition to choosing the right type of carbs, eating time is a factor that cannot be ignored, especially after the age of 50. Because when the body has enough time to rest between meals, insulin levels have a chance to drop, and that's when the body starts burning fat. This is why intermittent fasting, such as eating within an 8-hour window and fasting for 16 hours, is increasingly recommended for middle-aged and older people. But you don't have to start with 16 hours. Even if you only eat 3 meals a day, no snacking, and 4-6 hours between meals, you're giving your body a priceless gift time. Remember, every time you eat, especially starch, insulin increases. And if you eat all day long, bread for breakfast, rice for lunch, snacks for lunch, noodles for dinner, and milk for dinner, your body never has a chance to switch to fat burning mode. So when you combine the two, choosing the right carbs and eating at the right times, you're creating a solid foundation for losing belly fat, improving your hormones, and reestablishing metabolic balance. And here's the great thing: your body always wants to recover, whether you're 52 or 75, whether you've had belly fat for a decade, whether your doctor told you you'd need medication for the rest of your life. Your body never gives up on you as long as you stop giving up on it. You see, the magic isn't in expensive pills, extreme diets, or fancy workout equipment that's hyped up online. The real magic is always in the simple things: a bowl of cold rice, a green banana, a spoonful of chia seeds, a slow breakfast. A small decision today: I'm going to listen to my body. Dr. Jason Fung doesn't teach you to fight belly fat. He teaches you to understand why it's there. And when you understand, you'll see belly fat isn't a failure. It's a signal. It's a gentle call from within. Take care of me differently. Love me right. And you can start today. You don't have to change everything. You don't have to start perfect. Just change one meal. Just give your body a break between meals. Just add one food containing resistant fiber to your new day. One small change repeated every day produces bigger results than you ever imagined. Because when you start nourishing your body instead of punishing it, miracles happen. You'll realize that having a flat stomach after 50 isn't a far-fetched dream. Having energy back sleeping soundly, reducing joint pain, fitting back into your favorite jeans, it's all possible. And not just to look good, but to live lightly, live long, live freely in your own body. You've lived too long in a state of helplessness. You've heard too many people say, at this age, this is normal. But guess what? Normal doesn't mean it can't get better. Your 50s, 60s, or 70s aren't the end. It's just a new chapter, and you have the power to write it the way you want. Make every meal a care. Let every small decision be a love for yourself, and let every step, however slow, be a step toward a life that is no longer haunted by weight illness or self-doubt. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be yourself again. The person who was once healthy, alive, and full of energy. The person who has always existed inside you, just waiting for you to come back and claim it. Start with something simple. Start today. And if you find this video helpful, please share it with someone you love. Because sometimes just one word at the right time can change someone's life.